Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again, and we're going to look at game number 5 in our 20 from the Intellivision series, and this is a wrestling game, a very cool wrestling game. It is one of the very latest games to come out for the Intellivision. This was created in 1988 by the INTV Corp and Realtime Associates, and this is Body Slam Super Pro Wrestling. Very cool game. I was really surprised by this. For your 12 button keypad, you have all sorts of things you can do. With the clear button, you can review your moves, you can pick up a downed opponent, and with the 0 button, you can tag your tag team partner. Yeah, you can play tag team wrestling, and with the enter button you can press to pin. There are 12 different wrestlers you can choose from, with varying stats or height or weight, and you can choose from about 25 or so different moves to assign to each player. And each wrestler, they don't have their own set of moves. You just assign from the 25 different moves, and you assign them to a button. And depending on the skill level you choose, you might only have four moves to assign to your character, or it can have up to 9. And here you can choose whether you want to have the human player for player 1 or player 2, or a computer player for player 1 or player 2. And here, for beginner, you can only choose like four different moves, and you get more and more moves for each higher skill level you choose. And on the previous scenario, or the previous screen, you could choose to have both computer players playing, and you could just basically watch a demo. And now I get a look at all the different wrestlers. There is Judge Injury, bad pun, Jack Hammer, Dr. Payne, Chief Big Thunder, Rambo, Mr. Ugly, Gorgeous Gordon, Baron Von Thud, Sheik of Slam, Beach Bum Barney, Barf the Caveman, and Vic Vicious. And I don't know that you get a huge advantage from one wrestler to over another, but I'm just going to play myself versus myself, and I'll try to control both wrestlers as best as I can. And here is where you choose which button on your keypad is going to execute which moves. And moves can be executed when you're in a grapple mode, and to grapple you just bump into each other, and then you press one of those buttons. Some moves are better when you go up on the turnbuckle and drop down and do a move on your opponent. Some are better in grappling. Some are better when you're running, and to run you press a direction and you press one of the side action buttons and you will run, and then you can do different moves there. There are some moves that are best when you're trying to get up off the floor to avoid being pinned. There are some moves that are best to send an opponent out of the ring. And there are some moves that are best when you're just standing there. And there are moves to do on a downed opponent. And like I said, you can go pick up your opponent by pressing the clear button on the keypad. To tag the opponent, you press 0, to tag a tag team partner, you press 0. And yeah, there's a tag team option we'll look at later. And to pin an opponent, you press enter. And here, like I said, I'm going to assign all these different moves to the keypad numbers, and I get to choose 9 because I chose the Super Pro difficulty or skill level. There's beginning, which is 1, amateur, which is 2, rookie, which is 3, veteran, which is 4, Pro, which is 5, and Super Pro, which is 6. And the moves, as far as I know, there's flying sit drop, iron claw, rope sling, bazooka punch, knee butt, cross chop, possum roll, mega leap, power kick, body slam, rainbow punch. And now the second player, I'm going to assign their moves to the keypad buttons. Pile driver, suplex, flip kick, spin heave, backbreaker, giant splash, clothesline, drop kick, elbow drop, duck and cover, brain buster, quick jab, face masher, and chest smash. There might be one or two other moves, I don't remember. But the turnbuckle moves, the best ones I know of, are flying sit drop, giant splash, and elbow drop. And that's best to use against an opponent that is already down, I would think. If you're on the turnbuckle for 5 seconds, you will lose. And you will see timers to indicate that you better get back to the ring at the top left or top right, where it currently says 0. You have stamina that will drop. And those dimples are a little creepy on that gal. But your stamina is at the bottom left for player 1 and bottom right for player 2. And when you grapple, we're bouncing on the ropes. There I did a chest smash. That was a running move. But I'm controlling both players. And again, to pick a player up off the mat, you press the clear button. And we're going to grapple again by touching. And there the other player did a pile driver. And yeah, I'm trying to control both players at once. And you want to, when you're doing, yeah, neither of us did a move, so we just bumped into each other when one player was running at the other. But when you're grappling and you want to win, and I mean, sometimes they get dizzy when they get up off the mat when you pick them up. While you're grappling, you want to wail on the keypad number for the move that you want to do, so that you can beat out the other player that's trying to do the same thing. And they say grr when they're grappling, and they'll say ouch or something when they get hit with the move. And here is the spin heave, and this is so cool. This lets you throw them out of the ring. Now the countdown starts to 20, and if a player or both players are out of the ring at 20, then they will lose. And you can do more moves out here, more grappling moves. There's a suplex. And while one player is posing, that was weird looking. That's a mega leap. Better get that other player in there or they'll get counted out. While one player is posing, you can come up and attack them. And while they pose, their stamina increases. And there was a successful jump off the turnbuckle attack. But yeah, you see each player's stamina at the bottom left and bottom right. And when it's really, really low, they'll have a hard time getting out of a pin. There's a pile driver. The players have a stat called ego, and that determines, I think, how long they like to pose after doing a move, and to show off to the crowd. But yeah, as a turnbuckle move, you can do flying sit drop, giant splash, elbow drop. As a grapple move, body slam, knee butt, face masher, iron claw, brain buster, backbreaker, spin heave, flip kick, suplex, rainbow punch, rope sling, headbutt, pile driver. Some goofy moves. With a running move, you can do chest smash, drop kick, cross chop, line, mega leap, elbow drop, flying sit drop. There's defensive moves to get you up from a pin quicker. Those are possum roll from the floor and duck and cover when there's a running or jumping opponent to avoid getting hit. And then to send an opponent out of the ring, you can use the body slam or the spin heave or the power kick. I love throwing them out of the ring. Well, the round's going to end before they all need to get back in. I think there's an infinite amount of rounds, but you can only fight once, which kind of sucks. Then you can choose to fight the same player, change opponents, or change your own fighter, get different moves, etc. Yeah, she's really got to get rid of those dimples. They're creepy. Her skin tone's kind of creepy too, I think. But there are standing moves. There's a quick jab and a bazooka punch, and I'm sure there's other standing moves too that you can do when just standing and attacking your opponent. And on a downed opponent, you can use the elbow drop. I think when you're running towards them. There's a pile driver. And there he poses after that. Yeah, you have stats like ego, height, weight. But yeah, keep an eye on your stamina. There's height, weight, strength, coordination, and ego. Those are your stats. And those might help you get a little bit of an advantage over your opponent. I'll pick them up again. They're dizzy. And they're bouncing off the ropes vertically, and I'm trying to hit them with this quick jab, and it doesn't want to work, and then we both got bumped into. This is such a cool game. I would have not guessed that this could be done by the Intellivsion. And now I'm trying for a 3-count pin, and I got it. And again, to wiggle out of a pin, I think you hit the action buttons and the dial as quickly as you can. And you can choose new wrestlers, new moves, or restart the match. And now we're going to look at the title cards that are left. This is Judge Injury and Jack Hammer. And we'll also look at the moves that I haven't done yet. And there's the knee butt. And there is the iron claw. And now we're going to see the cross chop. Some of these moves are very goofy looking. And there's the drop kick. And the power kick. And the power kick can really send your opponent out of the ring. Some of these moves are superhuman. And there's the bazooka punch. Not terribly well executed. You might look at that again. And there's the possum roll when you're laying on the ground to roll out of harm's way. And there's a better look at the bazooka punch. A slam. Really tough. And there's Dr. Payne and Rambo, two other guys that you can choose to wrestle. And we'll look at some of their moves. Well, the moves are the same for all the characters. There's body slam. You just have to assign up to 9 of those 25 or so available moves to the keypad buttons. There's a backbreaker. I had never heard of this back in the day. I was long past the Intellivision by 1988 when this came out. Brainbuster. But this is really impressive for the Intellivision. Holy cow. Face masher. When you're choosing your moves, you can choose to have more than one move on different keypads, but you have to fill up all the buttons that you're going to use with moves. And there's the duck and cover, and you can use the duck and cover when a running opponent is coming towards you, and that'll flip them. There's the clothesline. And this is the title card of Mr. Ugly and Baron Von Thud. But yeah, there's a total of 12 different wrestlers you could choose from, and we will look at the tag team option later. There's the rainbow punch, and that's really strong. That could send your opponent flying out of the ring too. And there's the chest smash that you do on a downed opponent when you're running. And here is Barf the Caveman and Beach Bum Barney, their title card. And we'll also look at the title card of Vic Vicious and Gorgeous Gordon. And I think now I decided to do the tag team option and let the computer play both characters, or all characters. And the computer has already chosen their own set of moves. And in order to tag an opponent in, you go to the, or tag your partner in, you go to the edge of the ring, I think the top edge, and you press the tag button, which is 0, and then you'll see the other, or your partner appear in the ring, and they'll have fresh stamina if they're in for the first time. Yeah, this is super impressive for the Intellivision. I really like this game. There's a lot to have to pay attention to, and you really need the overlay or the actual controllers. The setup I'm using is 1, 2, 3 QWE ASD and ZXC for the keypad buttons, and then the directional arrows, and I think like Control and Alt and Space for the side buttons on my keyboard. It's not ideal. Well, note that there's a lot more moves made by the computer than I did. But the rules apply here as the same as in the regular wrestling mode. Whoever pins an opponent for 3 seconds is the winner, and if a player is out of the ring for 20 seconds or on the turnbuckle for 5 seconds, they lose. Like I said, I think there's infinite rounds in this game. I've seen at least 4 rounds. And there's them switching partners. And I think the computer won right here. Almost. And they pose a little bit. This game is so cool. I still like NES Pro Wrestling perhaps the most. Match over. We will also look at the player losing because they were on the turnbuckle or out of the ring for too long. Ta-da! But that was Body Slam Super Pro Wrestling for the Intellivision in 1988 by the INTV Corp and Real-Time Associates. Well, this is Crazy Clown Race 80 saying thanks for watching Body Slam Super Pro Wrestling, game number 5 in R20 from the Intellivision series. See you soon with game number 4. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.